Hardly 2 weeks back, on the 24th of April this year, the US President Joe Biden issued his statement acknowledging the mass extermination of the Armenians at the hands of the Ottoman Turks during the 1915 to 1916 as a genocide. This recognition by a US president is historic simply for the fact that Mr. Biden's predecessors over the course of more than a century since the genocide had dodged or rather skillfully evaded addressing this touchy subject, presumably not to irk Turkey and risk losing their ground in the Mediterranean. And if you're wondering why the US has to recognize something not coming in their direct jurisdictional precincts, but also perpetrated by the Ottoman Empire, tell me, who else in today's world carry more political and economical clout than what the US does? Coincidentally, it was around the same time I read this book, the one that discusses about the assassination plot that avenged the Armenian genocide, Operation Nemesis, published in the year 2050. This book addresses the retributive side of the Armenians who hunted down the key people of the Committee for the Union and Progress, aka CUP, a state missionary in the erstwhile Ottoman Empire for orchestrating the systematic mass killings of more than 1 million Armenians. Before delving into the thick of the things, the book does provide us with a bit of a context of the country of Armenia that it is today from a geopolitical, historic, and religious perspectives as well. Well, majority of the Armenians in the erstwhile Ottoman Empire were Christians, which made them a minority along with Greeks and Kurds among the majority Muslims. Now, naturally, this set the stage for religious persecution. The minorities had to bear the brunt for being the religious minority in pretty much everything. Now, don't think that the events that got triggered in 1915 was an impulsive, spur of the moment incident. There were a lot of precedents to these brutalities, and the minorities and the majorities had always been at odds with each other for decades, if not for centuries. A quick example for that was the Median massacre that happened in the 1890s, some 25 years before 1915, and that had reportedly killed approximately 300,000 Armenian Christians. Coming back to the incidents of 1915-1916, an estimated 1.5 million Armenian Christians were uprooted, deported, and eliminated in the most atrocious ways anybody could conceive. It was a systematic, state-sponsored extermination of the religious minorities, and the key people who masterminded this was the political organization, CUP, about which I talked about earlier. They're also known as Young Turks, also known as Ittihad. This genocide was the solution CUP devised to prevent the Armenians from teaming up with the Russians during the World War I and to permanently fix the Armenian problem. Equally complicit in the brutalities were the Germans, who was an ally to the Ottoman Empire during the World War I. They, along with the local Kurdish population, provided all the possible support to the Ottomans during the massacres. This book also draws parallels between the Ottoman Ittihad and the German Nazis, both of which started off as underground organizations. Both believed in the ideology of purification of their respective states, and both of them chose deportation and mass slaughters to accomplish their respective goals. Tragically, it is believed that Hitler took the Armenian episode as an example and a potential excuse before venturing into what he was infamous for. Now, since the genocide till to date, the Ottoman Empire, which is a present-day Turkey, have either been in constant denial or have been feigning ignorance about any of these violences. Rather, through a number of considered programs, Turkey rewrote their history altogether, thereby deliberately omitting the Armenian episodes. This way, over a period of time, the world was coerced to forget all these unfortunate incidents. With regard to the Armenian reprisals based on which this book has been titled, it focuses primarily on the assassination of Talat Pasha, the exiled head of CUP, at the hands of Soghomon Tehlirian in Berlin, and the subsequent court trials and its aftermath. Soghomon Tehlirian was a distraught Armenian youth who lost his family in the genocide. He was recruited by the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, or ARF, a political organization who wanted to avenge the Armenian killings. It's really incredible to learn how Tehlirian infiltrated into Germany and what all he went through before he managed to assassinate Talat Pasha. By doing these high-profile assassinations, the ARF's intention was to revive the lost memories of the pogroms among the public, thereby implicating Turkey in the international forum. Operation Nemesis also had other members too who carried out similar daring, high-profile assassinations that were touched upon in this book. However, they were not discussed in detail as how Tehlirian's account was done. I need to tell you that this book was less of a nail-biter thriller for me, but more of what transpired into the mass killings, how this went into the collective oblivion of the world, and the relentless attempts of the Armenians in tapping every possible opportunities to let their plights resuscitated, discussed, and justice delivered, although much delayed.